Maybe you can relate to this, where you're in constant fear of abandonment, the overwhelming urge to make everyone happy around you so that you can feel secure. If you know that feeling where you're saying yes, but deep down inside you mean no, I'm going to share with you tips to help you break the people-pleasing cycle and learn how to build confidence by honoring your needs. For more tips on how to take charge of your love life, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. And click the like button if you found this video valuable. Here's what I discovered and what I want to share with you today. The moment that you find the courage to be disliked is the moment that you start attracting genuine love and authentic relationships. First, we need to talk about the power of no. For those of us that are anxious attachment, saying no feels like risking abandonment. But here's the deal. Every time you say no to something that doesn't align with your truth, you're saying yes to yourself. I started small. I declined invitations to events that I didn't want to attend. I started expressing opinions that differed from groups. Yes, some people fell away because they saw my no as betrayal instead of boundaries. And you know what? That's exactly what needed to happen. You have to say no to what you don't want to make room for what you do want. Tip number 2 is standing in your values. Listen, in order for you to attract people that align with your values, like attracts like, right? You need to know your own specific values. I want you to pull out a piece of paper. I want you to write down your top 5 values. Some of mine include authenticity, growth, and compassion. When I started checking my actions against my values, it helped me calm that anxious voice inside. Because I realized if someone leaves because I'm being true to my values, they're making space for people who are meant to be in my life. Tip number 3 is to be the chooser. I don't want you to market yourself or morph yourself to be liked. When I did this and I recognized I needed to screen the person across from me, it was a game changer for my anxious attachment style. I realized that I didn't have to be chosen. I'm the one choosing. I started asking myself, are you a good fit for me? Or do your values align with me as a partner? I started to be more selective with who I allowed in my life. I looked for people who could handle disagreements with grace and who stayed present during difficult conversations instead of ghosting me, who showed me that they were secure and that secure love was possible. So pay attention. Make sure those people that you're letting in your life can actually meet your needs. Tip number 4 is for you to do a self-check-in. Here's a practice specifically to help you heal your attachment wounds. Every time you feel that familiar urge to people please, I want you to pause and I want you to ask yourself, am I responding from my authentic self or am I responding from my attachment wounds? Then ask yourself, what would I do if I wasn't afraid of abandonment? What would I really want in this moment right now? I remember using this when a really close friend pressured me to attend an event that I didn't want to go to. My anxious attachment was screaming, go or they'll stop liking you. Instead of automatically saying yes, I actually acknowledged my true feelings. And I was like, I don't really want to go. And so respectfully, I declined. And guess what? She was initially upset. It annoyed her a little bit, but you know what? Our friendship actually grew stronger because of my honesty. Tip number 5 is, this is hard for me, is get comfortable with not fixing, especially coming from being a coach, right? I want to help people. But listen, I used to pride myself for being the fixer in my friend group. You know, when there was a relationship problem, yeah, I'm there for you. We can talk for hours. A career crisis, I'll sit there and help you with your resume. I thought that this made me a good friend, but really it was just another form of people pleasing. If you have an anxious attachment style, this fixing tendency comes from a deep place where we think if we can solve everyone's problems, then they'll never have a reason to leave us. And for my avoidant friends out there, fixing other people's problems can be a way to maintain control and keep emotional distance while appearing very helpful. But here's what I've learned. I realized by jumping into fixing everything, I was actually robbing people of their growth opportunities. I was taking on emotional burdens that weren't even mine to carry. And I was avoiding my own problems by focusing on others. And most importantly, I was teaching people to depend on me instead of themselves. For those of us with attachment wounds, becoming our own best friend isn't just nice advice, it's healing. I used to have this inner critic in my head that said, you're not good enough. Why can't you just fit in? Does this sound familiar? I hope I'm not alone here. Here's what I practice now. I catch those anxious thoughts and I question them. And I ask myself, what action honors me best where I don't abandon myself? The other thing that I do is I celebrate my boundaries as acts of self-love. And I also accept compliments with a simple thank you now. I don't cringe like I used to. And I trust my intuition, especially when I say no, after checking in with my gut, right? If it says hard no, I believe it, I listen to it, and I feel good about it. Listen, I know this journey isn't easy, especially if you're working through attachment issues like I was. There will be moments when the fear of abandonment will be so overwhelming, when you'll question your self-worth. But I promise, on the other side of discomfort is freedom. The kind of freedom that attracts secure, healthy relationships with people who love you exactly for who you are. You just need to be yourself. And when you do, the right people will recognize the light in you and be drawn to you naturally. Now I want to hear from you. Do you struggle with people pleasing? How do you show up when you're trying to people please? And how are you going to break the cycle? Leave your comments and questions below because I do reply. If you're struggling with your attachment style and would like to transform to a secure attachment style, visit me at amythedatingcoach.com. I have programs and private coaching that can help support you find lasting love by conscious dating. Remember, the courage to be disliked is really the courage to be loved for who you truly are. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next video.